Hey lovely ladies, how are you doing? Shakti here and feeling groovy. Just been doing a little bit of dancing, which as an aside, in these crazy times, I really want to exaggerate how vital it is for us all to keep moving our bodies, to release energy, to release emotions, and to stay healthy, right? Anyway, that's not what this video is about. Hi Sarah, welcome. I just really want to share a story with you today. It's just come through that I should share this in this group, even though like this month in the Meeting the Masculine, it's all about our relationship with our inner masculine and just exploring our relationship with the men in our lives. And obviously there's a lot there for us to see and to process and become aware of. And it takes us into the theme for next month, which is divine union. And so they do dovetail a lot, but this story kind of spans or bridges both of those aspects, and I just really feel called to share it today. So this is a personal story. I love to speak from the personal. Everything that I teach and everything that I share comes from my own personal experience, my own personal study, learning. It all comes from what I've been through. And so some time ago, I can't remember really exactly how many years ago, I was in a fairly brief relationship as lovers with a really beautiful tantric man. It was such fun. It was so brilliant. It was so exciting. We were doing tantric practices together, which is something I had really wanted to have in my life. I wanted somebody I could do regular tantric practice with, because believe it or not, I've always found it really hard to find a man who wants to do that, which always shocked me, because I was like, what man would not want to do regular tantric practice with a beautiful woman who's like really open sexually? Like, I couldn't believe that any man would not want to do that, but believe me, it's been hard. Anyway, so I had this partner with whom we were doing regular tantric practice weekly together. It was great. It was fun. It was amazing, but it brought up a lot of my, the depth that we went to, also brought up a lot of my fears and my woundings and my triggers, which is normal. That happens when we open to someone, and it got pretty intense. And so I told him I couldn't do it anymore. It was just too difficult for me. So I kind of made that statement, and then he just shut down to me like immediately. He cut completely off, and I found that really painful. But that was his way of dealing with what for him was rejection. It wasn't me rejecting him. I loved him and I loved being with him, but I just couldn't handle the trauma that was coming up for me. And also it was an open relationship, and I'm really not designed for that. I know that 100%, but quite foolishly, I guess I'd overridden my knowing of that to kind of go into this relationship for the other reasons that were good. So he pulled right back and he shut down completely to me, which I always find really strange, when you've been really intimate with someone in every way, and then suddenly like they don't even want to speak to you again. I just find it odd. Like the day before, they've been completely interested in every detail of your life and like loving every facet of your body, and then they're just gone. I just find that very, very odd. But again, that was his way of processing his feeling of being rejected, which we all have different ways of dealing with our own wounds, so I cannot judge that. So then I went into the pain of the loss and the grieving the loss and the pain of the separation from him. And in that healing journey, I decided to go to Koh Phangan, this island in Thailand, which is very well known as a place where there's a load of tantra, ecstatic dance, breath work, healing. It's a hub for conscious people who are journeying around the world. There are a lot of teachers of conscious awakening there, and I felt very drawn to go there. And I also knew he was there, and I wasn't going there to follow him. I was going there from my own desire for a holiday, for a break, for a getaway, and I booked a ticket to go to Thailand for a month. And got to the island, and not long after getting there, we sort of crossed each other on the road and said hi. And I noticed my pain coming up, and I noticed my anger coming up with the way that he was treating me. I went to an ecstatic dance workshop, and he was there at the ecstatic dance workshop, and he pretty much blanked me. And I felt hurt, I felt upset, I felt the pain of that, I felt rejected, and I also felt angry. And so I messaged him and I called him out on that, and I said, look, you don't need to blank me. I know we're not together anymore, but it's painful when you do that. We were really intimate. Like, what are you doing? Don't be such a dick. And he actually took that. He took that and accepted some responsibility. But the thing is, I was feeling my feelings, and I was still feeling anger and injustice and rejection and pain. And, he still wasn't really coming towards me. We were trying. But then I went to a Kundalini yoga class one morning. Beautiful, on the deck, outside, right by the beach, paradise. It's just this island paradise. I mean, what more could you want than doing yoga on a deck outside on a tropical island? And I was really feeling the upset around this guy in my heart, and the pain of it, and all of the emotions. And towards the end of the class, the teacher said, is there anybody that you want to bring into your heart and send love to or forgiveness to? And I was like, oh, well, of course, I want to stop any feelings that are not love towards this man. I want to actually love him unconditionally. I want to forgive him. I want to forgive myself. So I took all of that into my heart, and from sincerely, absolutely sincerely, from my heart, I felt the feelings, and I just opened my heart to love, and I just let love pour in, and I was crying and crying and crying and crying and crying and crying at the end of this class. But what happened was that my heart had softened, so that the hardness had gone, the bitterness had gone, the blame had gone, any sense of blaming him for how I was feeling, any sense of making him responsible for my own emotions had gone. I was still very vulnerable and upset, but all of that had gone. So there was nothing in my heart anymore that was against him. And I left the class, and I went to the cafe I always went to, had pancakes and green tea, which I always did after my class. And literally within about a minute, my phone pinged, and he had sent me a message apologizing, saying sorry, and expressing also his desire for not to get back together, but just mutual compassion and love and care and gratitude. And so this for me was such an obvious, direct, like cause and effect. The forgiveness in my heart, the opening of my heart, the releasing of any harsh energy towards him immediately flipped that situation between us immediately. And this is how it works. I know this to be true without a doubt, that what is going on inside you, what you're feeling, what you're projecting, the energy, the vibration, the beliefs that you hold towards men, towards the man in your life, will be reflected in your outer relationships. That's why this piece is so important. And the story ends, well, I mean, it kind of went on. After I'd had my pancakes, after I'd received this message of love and forgiveness, my heart just blew open and I cried again. I went from there to a beautiful Tantra workshop, and as I went in line to pay and to sign in, there was this really big, tall, beefy German guy there, and he was like, how are you? And, you know, I didn't do the usual thing of like, oh, I'm fine. I just kind of owned how I was feeling most genuinely. And he took me in his arms and just gave me this beautiful big hug, like solid, like this, he was like a big beefy guy, and embraced me in my vulnerability. So I went straight from all of those feelings, you know, to the healing, like the healing that happened in my heart, to the reconciliation with my former lover, into the arms of a man who was willing to just hold me and be present to my emotions. So there, the masculine showed up for me straight away. So that's the story, and it's real, and I see this all the time, you know. I've seen it with women in my group. One of the women in my group in the closed mentorship program for the Awakening Shakti, one of the women's been going through a process of some relating in the realms of her, you know, outer partner and so on and so forth, and has directly seen how holding herself through her own emotions has shifted the dynamic with the man in the outer. So, you know, it's not just a story, it's not just a nice phrase, it is a reality. So the more we bring conscious awareness to our beliefs, to our unconscious patterns that we've been living by, to the wounds that are still there, that are causing us to shut down and to react, the more we explore this inner relationship and cultivate our own inner masculine, which is not making us more manly in our outer behavior, it's just giving us an inner presence, an inner stability, an inner core strength, so that our feminine always feels safe and she doesn't need somebody on the outside to make her feel secure. You know, the biggest wounding for most women is insecurity. And then there's this constant seeking outside for validation, for love, for security. No, we have to give that to, if we want to be whole anyway, if we want to be whole women, we have to give that security to ourselves, and then we can show up more fully in our feminine. Does that make sense? Anyway, so I really wanted to share that story today. I hope that's been interesting and inspiring. And just to say, don't forget that this month through November, two things. So I'm offering one-to-one sessions at a reduced rate. So normally my fee is $125 for an hour. So for this month, if you want to have a session about meeting your masculine and exploring your relationship with your masculine, it's £99. And if you want to come to my workshop, which is on Sunday the 15th of November, it's all day from 10 till 5:30. There'll be breaks, don't worry. It's experiential. It's not me talking at you all day. It's you doing practices to deepen this inner relationship and to share in a very safe and sacred sister circle. So if you want to come along to that on Sunday the 15th, it's also £99. Very good value, because I hold a very deep, profound, safe and transformative space. So you're very welcome. If you have questions, post them below. I'll post the booking link below, and anything else you want to know, just let me know. So that's it for this morning. Lots of love from me to you.